Hello everyone, good morning and welcome back to Sports Today. We bring you this video segment every morning to help you catch up with the things that have been taking place in the world of sport whilst you were catching up on some all-important sleep, because let's face it, whilst you and me need sleep, the whole world needs sleep. The world of sport doesn't really sleep. There's always something or the other going on, and it can be a little tiresome to keep a track of every little thing taking place in the world of sport. But worry not, that's why we're here. We've got you covered with some other interesting stories taking place. And let's start straight away as the fallout of the India versus England Test series continues on. And Rohit Sharma's captaincy, which did come in for a lot of criticism after the first test, which India ended up losing at Hyderabad, is now being praised a lot by, well, pretty much everyone. But one person who's really gone very far to praise him is Hussain. Now, of course, Rohit Sharma, as I mentioned, there was plenty of pressure on him. Many people were saying that maybe he might not be the right man for the job in the near future and that India should perhaps look past or look forward. But Hussain said that no, I think the kind of captaincy that Rohit has done has been very, very good. Most people look at him and see him as being a bit laid back, but there's a real thinking cricketer over there, thinking captain, someone who's constantly chopping and changing, doing things the right way and ensuring that that proactivity which is there, which is necessary, is always there, always try new things. And overall, it's a great thing really that India have him as captain. He goes on to compare him to Kohli, saying that he's not an idiot-face kind of captain the way Kohli is, but he has his own unique style and it's working very well, not just for him, but also the Indian team. And it's safe to say, I don't think I could agree any more with Hussein's analysis here, but he's spot on. Rohit has come under criticism a lot, but more often than not, he's shown that when push comes to shove, he's very much the right man to be leading India. And I don't think there should be any questions about that, at least in the test format. He's been superb both as a batter and as a leader when it comes to test cricket. Now, as I said, the fallout is continuing. And one former England cricketer, Geoffrey Boycott, has not been very kind in his analysis for the English cricket team. In fact, he said very clearly that England's bowlers, well, they look so weak and impotent and ineffective that they should be lucky that the likes of a Virat Kohli weren't playing the test series to begin with. His opinion is that if the likes of Kohli and even KL Rahul, you remember, only played one test match, were fit and available, the margin of victories in a lot of those games would have been a lot higher, and the kind of defeats that would be inflicted on England would be a lot worse. He's questioned a lot about the kind of bowling lineup that England ended up taking to India, saying that, you know, having the inexperienced spinners perhaps not the best ploy, given you cannot expect them to be performing at similar levels to Ashwin, Jadeja, Kuldeep, or even an Akshar Patel. And overall, he's not really minced his words when it comes to criticizing the team. And as he says, maybe it's time to even look beyond the Jimmy Anderson. Not something I agree with personally, but he is, let's say, entitled to his opinion. And his point of England's bowling being largely ineffective, pretty valid one, although many will argue that it was England's batting that lost them the series and not the bowling. Sticking with cricket news, with changing formats, the WPL race for the playoffs really is heating up nicely, and as things stand, none of the teams are out of contention, and that's because the Bet Mooney inspired Gujarat Giants ended up beating the UP Warriors by 8 runs last night. Now, what this does is ensure that every team right now, as things stand, actually has a chance of qualifying. Yes, even the UP Warriors, are currently last on the table with 6 points, could potentially make it, and the same can be said of the Gujarat Giants. Gujarat have only one game left, whereas UP Warriors, having played all their games, are now entirely dependent on results going their way. Similarly, Gujarat Giants also need in their last game a very, very big win. But right now, as I said, the race is nowhere near done yet. You've got two teams who've qualified, that is last year's finalists. The Delhi Capitals have qualified, the Mumbai Indians have qualified, but the third spot is very much up for grabs. At this point, any of the three teams would be favourites, although the Royal Challengers Bangalore on paper boast a much stronger lineup and in truth should be that third team. Of course, the order also is something that's yet to be determined for any of these sides, because again, remember, if you are the first team, if you finish first in the league table, you qualify directly to the final, and then the playoff is basically the eliminator, the split between the teams plays second and third to determine who plays the final. Right now, the third spot very much up for grabs, and it'll be interesting to see how exactly it goes in what is the last week really, or the last full week of league action that you're going to be seeing in the WPL. Switching our focus now from the world of cricket to the world of football, and Chelsea beat Newcastle United 3-2 in a pretty competitive Premier League encounter at Stamford Bridge. The win actually brings a lot of relief to Chelsea, as well as manager Mauricio Pochettino, who has been under the pump in recent times, has found himself on the end of criticism from fans as well as experts. And there's been pressure really considering Chelsea's inconsistencies and the kind of bad results they've been getting recently. 3-2 win against Newcastle, who also in theory should be a team competing for Europe but aren't, will of course take away some of that pressure. Goals were scored by Nicholas Jackson. You had Cole Palmer score the second, and of course Mikhailo Mudryk with the third. As for Newcastle, they did get a 3-2, would suggest it was close, but given it was 3-1 till about the 85th 86th minute, it was never really a close contest even after they got that second goal. So 3 well-deserved points for Chelsea. Can they make a late run for those European spots? I'm not talking top 4, I'm talking maybe top 6, 7. That's something that remains to be seen. But if they can show the kind of consistency they haven't shown throughout the season, then maybe yes. Bit of interesting news really from the world of Asian football, and Cristiano Ronaldo's Al-Nassr were in fact playing the quarterfinals of the AFC Champions League, but ended up getting knocked out incidentally on a penalty shootout. Now, Al-Nassr and Al-Ain were the two teams competing in the quarter, and it ended up going to penalties after the match finished 4-4 on aggregate in normal and extra time. So it then went to a shootout, and Al-Nassr ended up losing the shootout. So that means that as far as the Ronaldo-led Al-Nassr are concerned, it does seem like they're going to potentially be ending even this season trophyless, because again, they're very much off the pace as far as the Saudi Pro League are concerned. Doesn't seem like they'll be winning any of the domestic trophies either, and now are out of the AFC Champions League as well. Not sure this is exactly what Ronaldo signed up for, but I mean, that's just the way the cookie crumbles at this point. Other football news and news that could potentially be massive for the title race taking place in the Premier League. Ederson, Manchester City's goalkeeper, could potentially be out for a whole month. Now, the reason he could be out for a month, of course, is because of that tackle he had on Darwin Núñez in the City versus Liverpool game, which ended up conceding a penalty but also injured his thigh in the process. 1 month is the expected time that he should be out, and during that time City have a must-win game against Arsenal coming up. Now, excuse me, there's no guarantees that with Ederson in goal there was going to be, let's say, a definite chance that City would win, but he's the number 1 goalkeeper. Not having him for these particular matches may just come back to haunt City, even though we know that City do have the tendency of picking up steam in the later parts of the season. We'll end our news with news wrap with an interesting bit of, let's say, news from the world of tennis. And Luca Nardi, this man who is currently sitting outside the 100, the top 100 of the ATP rankings, and who only qualified for the Indian Wells Masters due to being a lucky loser, ended up stunning Novak Djokovic in his match against the world number 1. Now, why this is so big is because this is the same Luca Nardi who was playing Challenger level tournaments in India, and in fact lost the final of the Chennai Challenger to Sumit Nagal. So Nardi is pretty young at this point, definitely not someone who should even be playing tournaments like these based on his ranking. In fact, he lost the second qualifier, the second and final qualifier to even make it to Indian Wells, and only qualified for the main draw as a lucky loser because someone pulled out, and now he's only gone and beaten Novak Djokovic. What a story. And that's it from us as far as this edition of the Morning Wrap is concerned. Thank you so much for joining us. If you enjoy our work, please don't forget, like, share, subscribe, tap that bell, leave us a comment, follow us on social media. We're on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook. Don't forget to download the SportsTech app, and if you're already on the channel, go ahead, check out some other videos we've done as well. For now though, from my side, it is goodbye.